Welcome to LUTV News InFocus, where we feature interesting topics on campus, in the community, and in the world of culture. I'm Vanessa Guerrero. Due to the coronavirus pandemic, the restaurant industry was forced to adapt to keep their establishments afloat. From capacity restrictions to being short-staffed, several eateries have faced changes that caused them to close their doors permanently. Passion PR founder and creator of Southeast Texas Foodies, Lauren Bebeau, has assisted many restaurants and bars in the area navigate these unusual times. Lauren is here to share how the pandemic changed the industry locally and how restaurants are changing their practices to stay in business. Thank you so much for joining me today, Lauren.
Thanks for having me, Vanessa.
Okay, so before we begin, can you just tell our viewers that may be unfamiliar about what it is that you do with Southeast Texas Foodies and Passion PR?
Yes, so I am born and raised in Beaumont, and in 2015, I created an Instagram to showcase local restaurants called SETX Foodies, or Southeast Texas Foodies. Mm-hmm. And I just wanted people to know what was available, because there was a lot of rhetoric that, Beaumont is all chain restaurants and fast food, and I really wanted to create kind of an information source that people could reference to go get good food, and locally made, of course. And through that, I learned that these restaurant owners were struggling, with the marketing aspect and with social media kind of, that boom, and they needed someone to help them. And so I created Passion PR in 2017 to work with these restaurant owners or small businesses. I work with boutiques as well. Just to manage their social media, give them an online presence so that they can reach even more customers, because these days everyone is on their phone, as we know. Mm-hmm. And I also work full-time for a delivery app, so I'm meeting restaurant owners every day talking about their sales anyway. So I kind of want to bring the technology to the community and educate these owners in a way that can help them.
So within doing that, once the COVID outbreak came to us in our community last year and a little bit before that, what were some of the driving factors for you that led you to help those restaurants and small businesses during that time?
So when COVID hit, no one was really prepared, but those restaurants and businesses that already kind of adopted technology, whether it's like online ordering or, using the social media aspect, they kind of had a foundation, and that was good to build on. And then I also would find the people that didn't have that and, give them a Facebook page or an Instagram and just try and help them stay afloat as well, because I love having options in our community. It's really important. And someone, the restaurant shouldn't close because they don't know someone that can help them reach more customers. Right. And so I try and really pay attention to folks like that. Mm-hmm.
Once COVID hit and a lot of restaurants in the area were forced to close doors and do only to-go orders, carry-out orders only, was that something that a lot of businesses had a hard time adjusting to? Did you help any businesses kind of take things to kind of help them ease their way into that?
Definitely. So working for the delivery app, we're owned by HEB. We're only in Texas, but we have a whole network of these Texas restaurants and how they were starting to adapt to the change. And a lot of them would put, family menus on the delivery apps, and definitely shift to curbside, which means they needed to focus on their packaging. In this area, in this market, most owners, they're concerned with the dine-in customer that comes to eat at the restaurant. Mm-hmm. But I wanted to help them think beyond the four walls of their traditional restaurant and reach that customer through delivery, or reach that customer curbside who maybe doesn't want to come in. Mm-hmm. Try and do something that'll fit every type of customer, because you need those sales to stay open in the pandemic, and people still need food and they still need groceries and whatnot. And so I definitely saw the customer behavior shift to online. Mm-hmm. And so I would give suggestions to certain restaurants, like package your soups and all the things, and family style brunches, like anything and everything. We thought of it and we tried to do it.
That's really helpful, because a lot of small business owners think that something like delivery or apps like delivery apps are kind of like out of their reach and only for chain restaurants. So it's good that they kind of had that leeway in that area.
Definitely. I've actually worked for 2 different delivery apps, and I loved when they came to town because it was something we never really thought of before. You know, it was really your Chinese food or your Domino's pizza, you know, delivering. And now every single restaurant probably is on some kind of delivery app, one another. It's pretty important to be on these days.
So with the COVID shift and restaurants adapting to, you know, new regulations, have you seen a shift in like restaurant management maybe? Like, do you see a different future for restaurants now than before COVID happened?
I think definitely restaurants, to stay in the game, they need definitely to focus on their online presence, working with the delivery apps, you know, getting online ordering if you can afford to have a platform like that. You know, some small business owners can't necessarily afford something like that, but we could find, you know, maybe little workarounds or there's so many tools out there to help small business owners. And I know in this area people are intimidated, but like people in Houston have been doing it, you know, for 5 or plus years. And I want to bring that knowledge that I learned through working with all these restaurants back to Beaumont and help the people here, because it's not unattainable. You can totally do it.
Aside from COVID, we're also in the midst of a labor shortage.
Yes.
Have you seen this affecting our community at all? And if so, how are restaurants dealing with that?
Yes, this is definitely affecting our community, and everywhere across the board is the labor shortage. I've worked closely with the Sabine Area Restaurant Association, and we put together a big job fair in June. And sadly, the turnout, you know, it wasn't great. Like the applicants just aren't there, and that is hurting our restaurant owners and other businesses. You know, hospitality, even delivery drivers. You know, we kind of had we lost drivers, and then we had campaigns to bring them back, and everyone is doing that. The future of it is unclear. We hope people come back, but for restaurants to adopt that change, they shifted to like counter service, no more servers going to your table. You know, they have to do what they have to do to stay open.
Right. Thank you so much for being with us today, Lauren, and thank you for watching LUTV News in Focus. To see more content from LUTV News, follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook.